the time has come for a very, very important part of the evening, which is the keynote address of the Indian of the Year. And we're very privileged to have in our midst and giving the keynote speech this year somebody who is one of the most articulate, most incisive minds on the opposition benches. In fact, some would argue in Parliament as a whole. We don't get to see or hear from her enough as much as we do some of her more illustrious colleagues in the BJP. So it's all the more a pleasure to invite to the stage to give us the keynote address, Sushma Swaraj, leader of opposition of the BJP, someone who already gave us a trailer of her quick wit just now as she responded to Sheila Dikshit.
इस सभागार में उपस्थित स्नेही भाइयों और बहनों, मेरा विषय बहुत विस्तृत है लेकिन समय बहुत सीमित। मुझे इन्होंने विषय दिया है भारतीय समाज में महिलाओं की स्थिति, और मिनट दिए हैं 5। अब मैं 5 मिनटों में विषय के फलक को बहुत बड़ा तो नहीं कर पाऊंगी, लेकिन बिंदुओं को जरूर छूना चाहूंगी। अगर एक वाक्य में मैं ये कहूं कि भारतीय समाज में महिलाओं की स्थिति क्या है, तो मैं ये कहूंगी कि स्थिति में बहुत बड़ा असंतुलन है। एक स्थिति है जो बहुत सुखद अनुभूति देती है और दूसरी स्थिति बहुत ही कष्टदायक है। एक स्थिति है जहां भारत में महिला राष्ट्रपति बनी है, प्रधानमंत्री बनी है, लोकसभा की स्पीकर बनी है, नेता प्रतिपक्ष बनी है, 4 बड़ी राष्ट्रीय पार्टियों की अध्यक्षा बनी है, लगभग 10 प्रदेशों में मुख्यमंत्री बनी है और पंचायतों में, नगरपालिकाओं में, महानगरों में महापौर, सरपंच, जनपद अध्यक्ष के तौर पर लाखों महिलाएं आज अलग अलग विभिन्न पदों पर बैठी हैं। ये स्थिति सुखदायी है। एक और सुख की स्थिति है कि आज भारत में एक भी क्षेत्र ऐसा नहीं जिसे पुरुष एकाधिकार का क्षेत्र कह सकते हो, मेल मोनोपोली एरिया कह सकते हो। सारी वर्जनाओं को तोड़ करके उसने उन एकाधिकार के क्षेत्रों में प्रवेश किया है। वो अंतरिक्ष में उड़ी है, वो हिमालय पर चढ़ी है, वो बॉक्सिंग जैसी मुक्केबाजी की जीतों पर भी पदक जीत कर आई है। जो पुरुष वर्चस्व के क्षेत्र थे, मेल डोमिनेटेड एरियाज, वहां उससे आज वो बराबर का मुकाबला कर रही है। इंजीनियरिंग है, लॉ है, आर्किटेक्चर है, आर्मी, नेवी, पुलिस, सब में उसकी भर्ती है। ये स्थिति हमें गौरवान्वित करती है। लेकिन एक दूसरी स्थिति है, तराजू का एक दूसरा पलड़ा, जो बहुत कष्टदायक है, जहां वो जन्म से पहले ही अनचाही कही जाती है और मां के गर्भ में मार दी जाती है। कन्या भ्रूण हत्या आज एक अभिशाप बन गया है देश में। जन्म लेने का अधिकार भी छीन लिया गया है उससे, और जन्म लेने के बाद बहुत जगह लालन पालन और पढ़ाई में भेदभाव का शिकार होती है। विवाह के बाद दहेज की आग में जला दी जाती है, घरेलू हिंसा की शिकार होती है, और सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन उसका अपना शरीर बन गया है, जिसके कारण वो बलात्कार की शिकार होती है। आज इस कार्यक्रम के शुरुआत में सबसे पहले हमने दामिनी के माता पिता और उनके मित्र को देखा। आंखों में सपने संजोए हुए वो मध्यम वर्ग की बच्ची अपने परिश्रम के बल पर अपने सपने साकार करना चाहती थी, लेकिन कुछ मन चले दरिंदों ने उसकी आंखों के सपने छीन लिए उससे। कितना देश आक्रोशित हुआ, पूरा युवा सड़कों पर आ गया। उसके बाद जस्टिस वर्मा की अध्यक्षता में कमेटी बनी। मैं अभिनंदन करना चाहती हूं उनका एनडीटीवी के साथ कि जिन्होंने समय से पहले रिपोर्ट दी, और फिर सरकार एक अध्यादेश के जरिए उस बिल पर अमल करना चाह रही थी। अध्यादेश जारी हुआ और उसके बाद बिल आया। जब बिल आया तो यहां बैठे हैं सलमान भाई, बहुत लोगों ने आवाज उठाई, ये बिल पुरुषों के विरोध में है। आज मैं इस मंच से कहना चाहती हूं मित्रों, वो बिल पुरुषों के विरोध में नहीं है, वो बिल उन मर्दों के विरोध में है जो रिश्तों की मर्यादा नहीं जानते, उम्र का लिहाज नहीं जानते और रुतबे का आदर नहीं जानते, जो इन तीनों चीजों से परे केवल औरत की देह देखते हैं। ये बिल उनके विरोध में है और इसीलिए कानून को कड़ा बनाया गया है। लेकिन मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि केवल कानून बनाने से समस्या का हल नहीं हो जाएगा। समस्या का हल होगा जब समाज की सोच बदलेगी, जब व्यवस्था का खौफ पैदा होगा। मैं 4 चीजें कहती हूं, उन 4 चीजों के कारण यह स्थिति का असंतुलन खत्म हो सकता है। शिक्षा, सुरक्षा, आर्थिक स्वावलंबन और राजनीतिक सशक्तिकरण। आप महिला को शिक्षित करिए, अपनी बेटियों को पढ़ाइए। यहां तो वो संभ्रांत वर्ग बैठा है जो पढ़ा रहा है, लेकिन मैं देश की बात कर रही हूं आज के इस मंच से। शिक्षित करिए, सुरक्षित रखिए, आर्थिक रूप से स्वावलंबी बनाइए और राजनीतिक रूप से सशक्त बनाइए, तो यह असंतुलन समाप्त हो जाएगा और फिर शर्म से हमें मुक्ति मिल जाएगी। हम केवल और केवल भारतीय समाज में नारी की स्थिति पर गर्व ही गर्व कर सकेंगे, गर्व ही गर्व कर सकेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
Wonderful speech, wonderful. Just give me 1 second, they're just bringing the chairs. If you can just have the chairs up here, please, very quickly. We can't let Sushma ji go so easily. Come, Sushma ji. Yeah. Sushma ji, thanks very much indeed for managing to pack, even in 5 minutes, so much about some of the barriers that have been broken and some of the barriers that still remain.
Yes.
Now, certainly, if one looks at political parties and one looks at the BJP, because change always begins at home, looking at the example of someone like you, it's fair to say that you've managed to break almost every glass ceiling within the party. You've been a cabinet minister, you're now leader of opposition. But why aren't there more of you? Why is it that often we see, when we look at the BJP's top leadership, there's just one Sushma Swaraj?
No, there is not one. I would like to tell you very proudly that BJP is the only party which has reserved 33% of our seats only for women. Our national executive has 40 women. Our office bearers list has 13 women. So 13 top women leaders are in the national executive. 13 are office bearers. 40 are members of the national executive.
All right.
And we have given 33% reservation in our organization.
But what about when it comes to ticket distribution?
Yes.
In that you will admit that the figures are much smaller. In fact, I was
Yes.
looking at the figures, less than 10%
Yes, I
in
will
2009.
admit. Yes, I will admit, because there is no statutory bar on that. There is no law. That's why we are fighting for women reservation bill. We have 3-tier democracy. In the local area, you already have reservation.
Yes.
So they are 33%, and not only 33%. BJP-ruled states have increased the quota to 50%. In Madhya Pradesh, every second village has Mahila Sarpanch, woman Sarpanch.
Okay, so you're saying that once you make it statutory,
Only
then
then-
political
then and
parties will
only
be
then.
forced.
Then and only then they will get.
Then they'll be forced to field more women. Before this program, I actually sent out on Twitter saying that I'm interviewing you very shortly on Indian of the Year.
Yes.
And what would they like to ask you?
Okay.
And almost everyone said that if the BJP wants to send a true signal for women's empowerment, they should declare you as the prime ministerial candidate.
I think you have missed something. My party president was sitting here. You should have
Yes.
said this before him.
I'm sorry to
You
say.
are also saying when he has gone.
I'm sorry to say that he's left at such a critical moment. I didn't realize that.
You should have asked him to stay back and told this to him.
Okay. We'll certainly ask him at the first opportunity we get.
Thank you.
But look, I just want to ask you, Sushma ji, give me another minute. I know that this entire business of the declaration of the prime ministerial candidate has been a kind of a enduring question which has hovered around the BJP. And as the leading member of the NDA, you have the time and the right to choose as and when you make the declaration and who you choose. But do you think that the delays in declaring the candidate is now starting to cost you?
First of all, it is not hovering the party, it is only hovering the media. And secondly, what delay? Has the Congress declared? I'm asking you. Has the Congress declared?
The Congress has not.
Why
The Congress
are you
has not.
saying delay? No, why are you saying delay?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you have an ally as senior and as old as the JDU saying that, look, please tell us as soon as possible.
No, only yesterday
Who is,
he said.
yes, who
only
is the candidate?
yesterday he said that we are giving you the time till year end. Only yesterday. Even he is not saying that you declare it tomorrow.
But do you believe that in some ways the pressure is now building? I mean, you see now, you've seen the JDU make the claim that you should declare a candidate. You also have some members of your own party who are saying, look,
Nobody is saying
let's declare.
Pressure is on your mind. Pressure is not on our mind at all.
There is no pressure at all?
Pressure is on your mind.
Okay.
It's not on our mind at all.
Okay, can I ask you, I think one of the reasons why this is also happening is because when we see Mr. Narendra Modi these days, when he comes to Delhi, he addresses these functions, the kind of response he gets. And then you also have leaders of the BJP saying, look, he might be the best choice for the prime ministerial candidate. It almost seems as if the BJP has made up its mind.
Just now you heard our president, he said that decision will be taken by the parliamentary board. But you are only saying you have made up our mind.
No, it seems by some of the statements coming from
It
your own
seems
party
to you,
leaders.
it doesn't seem to us.
Yashwant Sinha ji has said that
No,
Narendra
today he
Modi
has
should
said
be
that he is
declared.
with Advani ji.
Yes.
Then?
So, what?
That means he has not made up his mind.
Okay.
It's you who has made up your mind.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think about his statement about Advani ji?
No, whatever I think, I'll not say it through media.
Okay.
I'll say it on my party forum. Why should I tell Vasu?
Okay. You say it in your party forum, don't tell Vasu.
Yes.
But let me ask you, Nitish Kumar seems to have laid down some sort of conditionalities when he said that the NDA is free to choose who they want, but we would like somebody who should be secular, who should be inclusive, take everybody along, indicating perhaps that Narendra Modi is not the first person in his mind.
No, all things which Nitish ji has said, what Akali Dal will say, what Shiv Sena will say, all these things will be taken into consideration when we'll take the decision.
But do you believe that that's limiting your options when he says that it should be someone who's secular, inclusive, ruling out perhaps someone like Narendra Modi?
No, you say that he has ruled out.
He's given that.
We don't think that.
You don't think so? You know, when I was reading through the list of criteria, the one person who ticked all the boxes was you.
I told you now. Why didn't you tell this to my president? You should have told that to my
Sushma ji,
president.
thank you
Okay.
so much for talking to us. I just want to ask you, in the end, you said that your president is not here, but personally, you don't have any objection. You're not somebody you'll give me, I hope you won't give me the standard answer that you're a loyal soldier of the party, but you can see for a change, there are some, it's normally only one face that is projected here. Here
That
we are
you
trying to
have
project.
projected. No, my party isn't projected. You have
Okay,
projected
but
that.
would you like
have
the,
projected this.
would you like,
And before me, you projected Rajnath ji just like that.
okay.
And earlier, you projected Manmohan Singh ji like that.
But it's good to see some other leaders of the BJP
No,
also
they
being...
projected Manmohan Singh ji
Okay,
also like that.
it's good to see some other leaders of the BJP being projected. Is this a responsibility? You've now, as I said, broken every glass ceiling in the BJP in Indian politics. Is this a responsibility of being the party's prime ministerial candidate, something you feel which is now the next step in your political graph?
See, I've never taken steps myself. I've always been given by my party. The responsibility is by my party. Whatever responsibility the party will give, by God's grace, I'll discharge that responsibility.
Thank you very much indeed,
Thank you,
Sushma ji. Thank you so much.